Hello, everybody. I'm Judge Jeanine Pirro, along with Harold Ford Jr., Jesse Waters, Katie Pavlich, and Greg Gutfeld. It's 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is The Five. It is a Trump freakout Friday. The former president knows how to make Democrats and the liberal press completely lose their minds. And this time, they're freaking out over a report that claims that he trashed Milwaukee during his closed-door meeting with congressional Republicans. Multiple lawmakers in the room said Trump was taken out of context, and Trump himself says it's fake news.
That was a fake story that came out. Milwaukee has a problem with crime, as do most Democrat-run cities. Most Democrat-run cities, almost all of them have a problem with crime, but they also have a problem with votes and election integrity, and that's what we want to make sure we get straight.
But in a collusion of stupidity, the media and Democrats are pouncing on it. The DNC throwing up billboards in the Milwaukee area to knock Trump. The Biden campaign is selling these not a horrible city merchandise. And the good Biden lapdogs of Morning Joe turned into a frat house this morning, literally busting out and drinking beer from Milwaukee at 6 in the morning. And later, Mika was seen sporting a Milwaukee T-shirt.
Hey, can I just say something? To Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee.
So good.
That he thinks are horrible. All of us lived through his presidency, so right back at you, buddy. I think it's kind of bizarre, actually. It's kind of unhinged.
I don't know many people in Milwaukee who have 34 felony counts against them.
Well, Donald
so
Trump.
Our crime rate sure is going to go up when he joins us.
And dear old Nancy Pelosi and the media can't believe that Republican voters like a Republican president.
They have become a cult to a thug. And that is really a tragedy for the grand old party and what they were.
Looking at this room, that I don't want to be hyperbolic, but it has a feel something more akin to what you would see out of state media from North Korea.
Why are so many Trump voters holding Trump such a low standard? I would argue that most Biden voters hold Biden to a higher standard.
For sure.
Why is it that many Trump voters accept the word vomit or the word salad that comes out of his mouth?
I'm going to start talking about them in very distinct ways because they are not the lesser, what is not the lesser of two evils?
Okay, Jesse, I'll start with you. Now, there is no tape recording of this. They were Republican senators and congresspeople, and they said that basically the president was saying, you know, we're having the convention here, and this place is not so good for crime. And, of course, the Democrats jumping all over it. Are you surprised?
No, they're good at it. I'm impressed by how good they are at this. They're so dishonest, and they're so maliciously coordinated. I wish I knew how to do it. But I just have more character than they do, so I would never do anything this dishonest, Judge. He didn't say it. Nobody in the room heard it. And a reporter writes it, and it becomes a hoax. And just like the bloodbath hoax, just like Dictator on Day One or the revenge hoax, this is all they have. It's all they have, just like the Russia hoax, where they used to go into these briefing rooms and Adam Schiff would come out and lie about what the intelligence said. Just like when they said when he visited that war memorial over in France, they came out and said, oh, yeah, he said soldiers were losers. It just never happened. But these types of things aren't going to work this time. This isn't like another race. This is about the fundamentals. The fundamentals of this country are shot. And it's not like your typical election where it's like one guy wins this news cycle and then there's another gaffe and then this guy says this. No. That's not going to happen. Voters aren't persuaded by that anymore. They know who these guys are. They know Joe. They know Trump. The best way to persuade someone, Judge, you offer a vision so they can understand how their self-interest is affected. Now, Joe Biden has not done that. How is he going to bring down housing and rental prices? How is he going to secure the border? How is he going to improve your standard of living or your quality of life? He has not done that. So he and the media, all they have is this BS garbage that's not going to work this time because Trump has policies. They don't.
You know, it's interesting, Harold. They talk about Donald Trump and, you know, and the media acting like a state media in North Korea. It seems to me that the Democrats, with what happened in 2020, were like Pravda and the Russian media when they basically said, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that, and that laptop is not real.
Good to be with you.
It's so good to be back with you, too.
See, things haven't changed since I was with you. A couple of things. President Trump, I give people the benefit of the doubt. And he said in his own statement, he said, look, it was very clear what I meant. I said I was concerned about crime, and I accept that. He went on to say, he said, I was referring to also the election, the ballots, the way it went down. It was very bad in Milwaukee. I'd be curious what he's talking about there, if he's talking about what happened, if he still questions the outcome of the election. But even there, if he elaborates and clarifies, I'm fine with it. I find it interesting when any people in the press or politicians don't give people space to answer a question. If they've said something, they misspeak. And a lot of times, there are a lot of people who, when President Biden misspeaks or slips, they jump on. And I don't do that. I can't do that with him. If what he is saying as he questions the election results, we should take him at his word. 2, give people space. President Trump has certainly done that with his VP list. You look at those who are on that list, many of them for years had said terrible things about him. I accept the fact that Senator Vance and Senator Rubio, Senator Scott, who's a friend, has said, I now think differently of this. And I give people that space. I try my hardest if people are actually being honest and genuine about it. And I hope, again, one of the reasons I said to Democrats, if there's a Republican president, and Katie and I have a little different opinion about this issue, maybe we all do, but if a Republican president says, I'm going to enact some gun reforms, and Democrats said, no, we can't let him or her do it because that would mean that Republicans get the credit for it. I'd be the first person to criticize Democrats, if not repeatedly criticize them. We've not done that with President Biden on border security. He may have come around at the last minute on it, but if he comes around, I think it's a good thing. Just like Senator Vance has come around on President Trump, Senator Rubio has come around on President Trump, and I take them at their word. So I give President Trump the benefit of the doubt. He wasn't talking about Milwaukee in that regard. He was talking about something else, and maybe we should ask him what that something else is.
Well, the good news is that he's probably happy to answer it, and he's already answered it. And I mean, there you have it, an accountable candidate for president. All right, Katie, let's talk about the fact that people who follow Donald Trump are they run the gamut from a cult to a thug, and it's a tragedy for the grand old party.
They're just going overboard again. So they misconstrue what Trump said, and instead of taking an opportunity to actually talk about what Joe Biden has done for the people of Milwaukee or what he's done for the people of Wisconsin, talking about why he's ahead in polling in Wisconsin while he's behind in other swing states, the media has to go overboard and break out the beers and accuse the Republicans and Trump of hating Milwaukee, as if they hate the city so much that they're bringing a convention there and they're going to infuse millions of dollars into the local economy in a place where restaurants were closed for years. I mean, this is the first real convention that they're having in a city outside of Washington, D.C. that's going to benefit the local community. And they don't want to talk about crime, which is why they're distracting and glomming on to what Trump said about this, because just yesterday there was a 9-year-old boy who was killed in his bed because of a drive-by gang shooting. They don't want to talk about those things that are happening in Milwaukee and some of the policies that have led to that continuing on. And so I think that just the team Biden has missed an opportunity here to really talk about his record and why he's winning Wisconsin and why he'll win it in November. But instead, they're misconstruing what Trump said.
Greg, Katie makes a great point that, Joe Biden could have come back and said, this is why I'm winning and this is why you're losing. But the truth is that all the Democrats do is just trash the people who support Donald Trump. The divisiveness is part of their playbook. If you support Trump, you're just a cult and you're a thug.
Well, I think the key difference is when you say it's a cult, you are talking about people and not the cult leader. So when they say that, they're actually just insulting millions of people. We try to always focus, and I think even Trump, Trump does this, celebrities, political leaders, people in the news. I don't think he's ever gone after Democrats. And they try to conflate him talking about the city with Milwaukeeans. Is that what you say, how you say it? Which is a pattern. Trump says something about what is, in this case, the city is damaged, maybe permanently, by progressive policies. And the media, instead of ever bothering to address the policies that have destroyed these cities, they focus on the criticism, as if the criticism is worse than the things being criticized, crime or poverty. Milwaukee is the second in poverty rate out of the top 50 cities. 25% of people in that city live in poverty. So why doesn't the mayor address that instead of spending all your energy on this other thing. That is what's called a luxury belief. The fact, and Milwaukee doesn't have the luxury to focus on Trump's words. They should be focusing on what's happening to the people in Milwaukee. The concern over Trump, and this is pretty obvious, the concern about Trump and the concern about Biden are almost exactly the same in intensity. It's almost like a mirror image. But there is a key difference. The concern over Trump is what if, and the concern over Biden is what is. We can see it. They can see it. The concern over Trump's personality, luxury belief, the concern over Biden's physical and mental state is not, because our future is in his hands, whether it is foreign policy, economy, crime, the ego. Their concerns, when we did that montage of the media, that is the voice of damaged egos and feelings. Trump upsets them because they have told those people in the media, you are no longer relevant. You are no longer the center of the universe. You know, you can sit there and laugh, but the people are still going to vote for Trump. And what they're saying is, and what the voters are saying, we'll take Trump's mean tweets over getting mugged any day. Mm-hmm. Trump pointing out that the left ruins cities is not offensive. The fact that the left ruins cities, that's offensive.
Okay.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.